Alright, this is Sarah Knew This Part of the Park. Working title. This was my 48-hour challenge that I have spent a month on because I've done about 1,000 other things. And I failed miserably in the first place. But I'm going to do the final read through today. And hopefully put it on Amazon tonight. We'll see. Alright. Sarah knew this part of the park. The evergreens branches hung low, and the ones that provide dappled shade in the summer were now bare and would let the sun through to warm a body in the daylight. But now it was dark, not even a moon, and she had made a decision to make. And I have to edit. Not even a moon. And she had a decision to make. By the way, the dogs are going in and out the door. The doggy door. That's all that noise. Alright. The branches hung low, and the ones that provide dappled shade in the summer were now bare. I would let the sun through to warm a body in the daylight. But now it was dark, not even a moon. And she had a decision to make. To go home and face scolding from her parents, to sit here and be subjected to whoever wandered by, or to find an all-night cafe, that should be capital, lowercase, cafe, and do the same, or head to work and try to pick up the extra shift, or go ahead to work and try to pick up an extra shift. Someone would have called in sick in such a large hotel. She used the inside of her shirt to wipe the tears from her eyes. She would not go home. She could live in the dorms, work, and go to school. She only had a year left, well, a year and a half, and she would be of age, with a diploma, and no longer subject to the whims of her parents or the needs of her younger brother. Skirting the main streets and keeping to the alley, well out of the view of customers, she bent to clean the mud from her heels and dusted what she could off her dress. She could do nothing for the red raised mark on her face or the purple that must be developing around her eye. There was a spot so horribly tender behind her ear, at least it would not be visible, but she could feel the lump growing. She pulled her hair back into a severe bun at the nape of her neck and plastered a smile on her face. She entered, ignoring the concerned looks of the cook and busboy Billy, who had been particularly kind to her and became her best friend over the years, always making sure to share her the leftover food. They did not need to know her troubles. Billy silently pulled a bag of frozen peaches out of the freezer and handed it to her. She smiled at him. Thank you. But then he saw her put it on the side of her head. He pulled out another frozen bag of fruit and made her go back into the coat room. I'm going to make this a sentence, period. Take a nap, you look horrible. I need to move into the dorm. I don't know if there's any room. I'm willing to bunk with anyone. His eyebrows went up. Not you, any girls. The boy's got a dream. No, a boy's got a dream. She lay down on the bench with a wadded-up coat for a pillow and the ice pack balanced on her wounds. Ice packs and the ice... No. She lay down on the bench with a wadded-up coat for a pillow and the ice balanced on her wounds. Oh, no, it should be the peaches balanced. It should not be ice. And the peaches. P-E-A-C-A, peaches, because that references back to the beaches. She lay down on the bench with a wadded-up coat for a pillow and the peaches balanced on her wounds. When she woke, she panicked for a moment, forgetting where she was, then searching desperately for the bags of fruit, worrying they'd make a mess. But they had been removed, and a jacket had been pulled across, had been pulled across her. The small windows that ran across the top of the room were still painted in the black of night, so she had not slept for long. She finally searched for her phone, and of course it was dead. Maybe that was it. Never turn this phone back on. Get a new SIM card, a new number, a new life. Yes, this is the one her parents paid for. She would get herself a new phone, comma, and keep the other until her parents turned it off. No, I want to say something like until her parents, permanently turned it off. Like they're getting rid of her. I don't know how to say that yet. Then keep others until her parents turn it off. Until her parents. Close that too. Close that off too. I like that. Because they've done so many bad things. She shook herself and straightened her skirt again and started to make her way out. But Billy stopped her. Stay in here and be quiet. Trusting Billy, she did. Trusting Billy, comma, she did. Oh, as she did. That's what is missing. Trusting Billy as she did what he asked of her. As he squints, and then I'm going to fix this. I'm going to make this less of a sentence, 2 sentences. Okay. Trusting Billy as she did what he asked of her. He squished her into the corner, comma, where most of the jackets hung, and he placed one over her head. Loud, deep male voices were getting closer. There is a redhead on the floor. She looks young enough. Sir, I'm sorry, it's not. The girls can't complain. I said I'd pay the girl $100,000 when the job was done. Sarah's well hidden and could not see, but could clearly hear. Billy held his head low, trying to remain unnoticed by the 2 large villains pushing through the room. Oh, villains pushing. It should be pushing. Billy held his head low, trying to remain unnoticed by the 2 large villains pushing through the room. I want a fresh one for him. Someone to get pregnant is better. Needs to be easily controlled. None of your regular girls will do. And that should be... Oh, what's that guy's name? It starts with a D. Gotta look it up. D'Angelo, something like that. I think it's D'Angelo. But I gotta make sure I got the right name. I want to put a name here. Where's that? Where's the notes? There we are. Notes. I believe it's D'Angelo. Let me go down and look. Dimitri. We'll do, comma, Dimitri. I meant to do this before. Someone to get pregnant's better. Needs to be easily controlled. None of your regular girls will do, Dimitri. I really don't, sir. Not one of your serving girls will do. Sir, that's really not a service they provide. We provide. Here's an extra $10,000 for you. Make it a service you provide. One of the deep voices smacked the manager's face with a wad of cash. Sarah stirred slightly, and Billy shuffled on his feet to distract the large man. You, boy, you must know which girl around here is clean. I know nothing about girls around here. I'm sorry, sir. Oh, no? You don't want to make $10,000? Billy shook his head. Sorry, I don't know anyone. Another deep voice came from behind the first. We'll get one from the club. They're always ready to do that. That won't do. I need someone. Just go to the school and pick someone up. We need someone tonight, now. Angel didn't show. I don't know what she's thinking. I'm sorry, sir. Comma. I'll look for her again. Don't bother. I'll figure something out here. Without these people's help. We just need someone in 802 tonight, now. He's already had the happy pills on board for half an hour at this point. Sarah had seen this sort of thing before. Here in the hotel. Obviously someone was being set up. A man's life was about to be ruined along with a young woman's. Even if they used a prostitute, someone already in the life. It really sounded like they were looking to ruin an innocent. No, two innocents. Sarah could be that innocent. She needed the money. She needed a way to escape her family. No, better, if she could rescue the man, as she was sure he was much more valuable than anything these two vile men were offering. Sarah made a snap decision. She could go to that room and rescue that man. It was as simple as moving him next door across the hall to make it look like he'd simply escaped. Billy would put the man's coat on and run down the stairs so it would look like he'd left the building. Like the man had left the building. The two vile men finally left the room. Get rid of the had. Boom. The two vile men finally left the room, with the manager following close behind, and Billy collapsed on the bench. Sarah emerged from the pile of jackets she had been secreted in. Comma, and clapped Billy on the shoulder. We're gonna save him. We're gonna save him now. What? No. What are you talking about, Sarah? And this, I need to just get rid of the highlight. I did this because I wanted to be able to find it again. And then there's a man in that room who's about to have his life shattered. And if they're spending that much money and effort on him, the victim should give us an even greater reward. Don't you want a giant reward? Billy shook his head no. Sarah peeked out, making sure they were truly clear of the vile men. You're going to help me move him to another room and then put on his coat and anything that identifies him. And you're going to run away down the back stairs, take a train or a bus, just tear off as far as you can, then ditch his clothing and circle back home. I'll let you know where I have moved him after you've left. You can even join me in the room with our victim. It is foolproof. Bad guys will not look for him next door when they are tracking him across town. It's too dangerous for you to be in a room with a man, drugged or not. You don't have to worry about me. I've taken care of my brother and father all these years, so I can certainly handle one drugged man. You have to be careful not to get caught too quickly. It will take them some time. To get the recordings from security and track his escape. Get rid of this. Oh, you know what I should have done is put this into Word. Let me do that because I got to do the editing in there. Let me do that. I should have done that already. Dork. Okay. Oh, and I should have looked at the words. This was supposed to be a 30,000 word book, just because that was my challenge for 48 hours. 76801. Hee hee. Oops. Okay. I need to open Word. Because I need to have it in Word, because when I go to publish it into Amazon, publish it to Amazon, the formatting is easier to do it from Word. And I'm going to edit, select all, Control C, and paste it over here. Oh, see? Oh, no, don't tell me I got rid of all my tabs. Oh, no. No, no, no. Oh, that is a big pain in the butt. No, I don't like that. Mm-mm. Nope. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to do the first paragraph. Oh, this is a pain because I've got it all nicely done. Control C. Paste it over here. Well, there. Why are there tabs missing at the end? Are they missing here? No. That makes no sense. Okay, edit. I'm going to try it one more time. Select all. Control C. Ha! It did it again. I don't understand this. Okay, wait a minute. I think we may have fixed it. Yes, I am not retabbing. Whoa, that was no. Okay, so I'm retiring my Google document. And I am now going over here and I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to bring this over here and make it big. And look and see what it looks like on. Yeah, it still looks fine. Okay, now I need to go here and save this. That's super important. I always save first. Save. And this is going to be no, just save this PC. There we go. Okay, so within books to publish, I've got Serenade as part of the park. This is as of, what are we in, 11/1/24. Okay, save. All right, so we got that. And it needs to be apostrophe. Evergreen's branches hung low. Why are they suggesting it's singular? All right, that can be. It does. I don't like apostrophes if I don't need them. I don't care what that sounds like. I don't. Okay. But now it was dark. No, because that's part of the flow of the sentence or the story. But now it was dark. Warm body in daylight. Oh, I could do this. Period. But now it was dark. Oh, I like that even better because it's like a new thing. Okay. We've got skirting the main streets, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this looks, I should read it just because. Can't help myself. Sarah knew this part of the park. The evergreen branches hung low, and we're at 2:14 in the afternoon, 15 in the afternoon. We'll see how long this takes. Sarah knew this part of the park. The evergreen branches hung low, and the ones that provided dappled shade in the summer were now bare, and would let the sun through to warm a body in the daylight. But now it was dark, not even a moon, and she had a decision to make. To go home and face scolding from her parents, to sit here and be subjected to whatever wanted by, or find an all-night cafe and do the same, or head to work and try to pick up an extra shift. Someone would have called in sick in such a large hotel. She used the inside of her skirt to wipe the tears from her eyes. She would not go home. She could live in the dorms at work and go to school. She only had a year left, well, a year and a half, and she would be of age, with a diploma and no longer the subject to the whims of her parents and the needs of her younger brother. Skirting the main streets and keeping to the alley, well out of view of customers, she bent to clean the mud from her heels, and dusted what she could off her dress. She could do nothing for the red raised mark on her face, or the purple that must be developing around her eye. There was a spot so horribly tender behind her ear. At least it would not be visible, but she could feel the lump growing. She pulled her hair back into a severe bun at the nape of her neck and plastered a smile on her face. She entered, ignoring the concerned looks of the cooks and the busboy Billy, who had been particularly kind to her and became her best friend over the years, always making sure to share her the leftover food. They did not need to know her troubles. Billy silently pulled a bag of frozen peaches out of the freezer and handed it to her. She smiled at him. I'm going to say a bag of peaches, not frozen peaches, because that's obvious. A bag of peaches out of the freezer and handed it to her. She smiled at him. Thank you. But then he saw her put it on the side of her head. He pulled out another frozen bag of fruit and made her go back into the coat room. Okay, get rid of the comma, since Graham Hurley doesn't like it. It is kind of awkward. Take a nap, you look horrible. I need to move into the dorm. I don't know if there's any room. I'm willing to bunk with anyone. His eyebrows went up. Not you, any girls. A boy's got a dream. She lay down on the bench with a wadded up coat for a pillow and the peaches balanced on her wounds. She woke. She panicked for a moment, forgetting where she was, then searching desperately for the bag of fruit, worrying they'd make a mess. But they had been removed, and a jacket had been pulled across her. The small windows that ran across the top of the room were still painted in the black of night, so she had not slept long. She finally searched for her phone, and of course, it was dead. Maybe that was it. Never turn this phone back on. Get a new SIM card, a new number, a new life. Yes, this was the one her parents paid for. She would get herself a new phone and keep the other until her parents closed that off too. She shook herself and straightened her skirt. Shook herself and straightened her skirt again. Then started to make her way out, but Billy stopped her. See, I know they don't like all that extra stuff, but I do, because it's a rhythm. It's kind of like I'm not saying this is Shakespeare, but I'm saying it's like Shakespeare. There's a rhythm. It's a poem. You gotta have the rhythm. She shook herself and straightened her skirts and then started to make her way out. But Billy stopped her. Stay in here and be quiet. Trusting Billy as she did what he asked of her. He squished her into the corner where most of the jackets hung, and he placed one over her head. Loud, deep male voices were getting closer. There's a redhead on the floor. She looks young enough. Sir, I'm sorry, it's not. The girl can't complain. I said I'd pay the girl $100,000 when the job was done. Sarah was well hidden and could not see, but could clearly hear. Billy held his head low, trying to remain unnoticed by the two large villains pushing through the room. I want a fresh one for him. Someone to get pregnant is better. Needs to easily be controlled. None of you regular girls will do, Dimitri. I really don't, sir. One of your serving girls will do. Sir, that's not really a service. They provide. We provide. Here's an extra $10,000 for you. Make it a service you provide. One of the deep voices smacked the manager's face with a wad of cash. Sarah stirred slightly, and Billy shuffled on his feet to distract the large man. You boy, you must know which girl around here is clean. I know nothing about girls around here. I'm sorry, sir. Oh, no? You don't want to make $10,000? Billy shook his head. Sorry, I don't know anyone. Another deep voice came from behind the first. We'll get one from the club. They're always ready to do that. That won't do. I need someone. Just go to the school and pick someone up. We need someone tonight, now. Angel didn't show. I don't know what she's thinking. I'm sorry, sir. I'll look for her again. Don't bother. I'll figure something out here. Without these people's help. We just need someone in room 802 tonight, now. He's already had the happy pills on board for half an hour at this point. Sarah had seen this sort of thing before, here in the hotel. Obviously someone was being set up. A man's life was about to be ruined, along with a young woman's. Even if they used a prostitute, someone already in the life, it really sounded like they were looking. It really sounded like they were looking to ruin an innocent. No, two innocents. Sarah could not be. A man's life was about to be ruined along with a young woman's. Even if they used a prostitute, someone already in the life, it really sounded like they were looking to ruin an innocent. No, two innocents. Sarah could be that innocent. She needed the money. She needed a way to escape her family. No, better. If she could rescue the man, as she was sure... I'm going to get rid of as. If she could rescue the man... No, better. If she could rescue the man. She was sure he was much more valuable than anything these two vile men were offering. Sarah made a snap decision. She would go to that room and rescue that man. I'm going to do this. Boom. Snap decision. She would go to that room and rescue that man. It was as simple as moving him next door or across the hall to make it look like he had simply escaped. Billy would put on... Simply. That's fine. Simply. Looked like he had simply escaped. Billy would put on the man's coat on the run. Put the man's coat on and run downstairs so it would look like the man had left the building. The two vile men finally left the room with the manager following close behind, and Billy collapsed on the bench. Sarah emerged from the pile of jackets she'd been secreted in and clapped Billy on the shoulder. We're going to save him. We're going to save him now. No. What? Wait, what? No. What are you talking about, Sarah? There's a man in that room who is about to have his life shattered, and they're spending that much money and effort on him. The victim should give us an even greater reward. Don't you want a great reward? Billy shook his head no. Sarah peeked out, making sure they were truly clear of the vile men. You're going to help me move him to another room, then put on his coat and anything that identifies him. And you're going to run away down the back stairs. Take a train or a bus. Just tear off as far as you can. Then ditch his clothing and circle back home. I'll let you know where I've moved him after you've left. You can even join me in the room. You can even join me in the room with our victim. It's foolproof. Oh, one word. Okay, fine. The bad guys will not look for him next door when they are tracking him across town. It's too dangerous for you to be in the room with a man, drugged or not. You don't have to worry about me. I've taken care of my brother and father all these years, so I can certainly handle one drugged man. You have to be careful not to get caught too quickly. It will take them some time to get to the recordings. Blah, blah, blah. It will take them some time to get the recordings from security and track his escape. Sarah, this is too dangerous. That is it. I need to do something. I want that money, but I will not destroy a man for it. It's better ask for the money as a savior. Sarah, this is crazy. No, crazier than the life I already live. Sarah found a very large dark overcoat and slung it over Billy's back, and another for herself, grabbing a hat for him on the way out of the room, plastering it on his head. Sarah, having spent the last 4 years in the hotel, and Billy even longer, knew every secret passage and discreet elevator between them and the 8th floor. Sarah undid the first 3 buttons of her blouse, exposing the small bow at the top of her pink bra, then rethought it, buttoning her blouse back up, all the way to the top. She pulled her hair down and divided it over her shoulders so that it made her look younger. She turned Billy towards the guest's elevator, making a point of keeping her head down. She should have put a hat on herself, but she needed to look the innocent, scared girl on the way up if they were going to pull this off. A giant wrinkle appeared. Sarah. Oh no, I'm going to do this. Giant wrinkle appeared. Sarah had not anticipated that as they exited the elevator. Oh. Giant wrinkle appeared. Sarah a giant wrinkle appeared that it needs a that. That's what I keep saying it, but I'm not putting it in. A giant wrinkle appeared that Sarah had not anticipated as they exited the elevator. No. A giant wrinkle appeared that Sarah had not anticipated as they exited the elevator. There were men outside 802. Comma? Yeah, it did need the comma. I was right. No, I'm not. Whatever, I'm not getting pro. Not anticipated as they exited the elevator. I'm going to get rid of this. Giant wrinkle appeared that Sarah had not anticipated as they exited the elevator. I'm going to leave it like that. It's my poetry. There were men outside of 802. 3 large men, the kind one might find outside a nightclub with lumps in their jackets. This should not be a difficult move. Sarah, we can't. Sure we can. They said they wanted an innocent girl. I need to look scared too. Wrap your fingers around the back of my neck as you walk me down the hall and push me into the room. Just say you brought your sister. I can't do this. Yes, you can. Sarah draped the overcoat over her shoulders rather than pushing her arms through and forced Billy to hold her by the scruff of her neck. We don't have much time, Billy. She placed her hand over Billy's on her neck, dragging him along with her, giving the illusion she was being forced rather than being the one forcing Billy down the hall. Their movement caught the attention of the large men. She marched forward, eyes down. Billy said nothing, frozen in front of the 3 large men. Sarah elbowed Billy, and she sat in a Sarah elbowed Billy, and he said in a too high register, I brought my sister. I need to go in to make sure the deed is done. The large men simply parted and the door opened for them. As soon as the door closed behind Billy, he collapsed against the wall. However, Sarah was focused on her mission. Locking the door, she threw off the overcoat and searched the room. There was a camera set up. Sarah took it from the stand and tossed it into the tub and started the shower. Then searched the room for less obvious devices. Definitely not a voluntary situation for the man sprawled across the bed. He was still fully clothed and tall. His arms reached the top of the bed. His knees were bent and dangled off the end. "Billy, I can't move him. Help me." She crawled up next to him and smacked the man in the face. "You need to wake up," she hissed into the lumbering giant. He merely grunted. She smacked him again. "Sir, you have to wake up now. Billy, get me a wet washcloth from the bathroom." She flipped in the air a bit to make it cooler and smacked him with a cold wet towel across his face. That made him stir a bit more. "I don't know how we're going to get him past those men outside. We're not getting him anywhere until I can wake him up. He's far too large for the two of us to move him without his assistance. Go get a pitcher of water. Let's just drown him. He'll wake up if he thinks he's drowning." "Sarah, just do what I say. No matter how drunk my father is, drowning always wakes him up." Billy brought her an ice bucket filled with water. Sarah laid the wet towel over the man's face and started pouring the water over the cloth. The man immediately started swinging and kicking. "See, I told you it would work." He was not conscious nor coherent, but they were able to get him to sit at the edge of the bed. She stripped off his coat and handed it to Billy. "Put your coat on him. It won't fit him." "Then try mine. It's bigger, and I don't forget your hat." The man swayed, but Billy kept his hands on the man's shoulders to keep him from tipping over again. "See if he still has his phone on him and the other electronics, his watch too, and toss them in the tub. Billy, give me your phone." She dialed another close friend from the kitchen, Sam, and explained briefly their situation and her plan. He was to position himself and wait for a text. She guaranteed that this would clear his debts to her. She heard a few splashes and the shower stop. "Billy, help me get him up. He has to be able to move under his own power." The two of them managed to get the giant to his feet, but he was weak and stumbled. They dropped him on the bed again. "Billy, put his shoes on." Billy put on his shoes. "What do I do with mine?" "Take them with you. Dump his shoes too. Keep nothing of his." They got the giant to his feet again, and Sarah had him pressed up against the wall behind the door. She gave Billy a smile and pulled him in for a hug, whispering in his ear, "Are you ready to run?" Billy nodded. She handed Billy back his phone and he sent the text. A few moments later, there was a large clatter in the hall outside the door, and Billy did as he was instructed. Sam peered around the door, and he helped her move the stumbling giant man. They simply went across the hall. Through the first door she opened though the first door she opened was occupied. Before bothering to move him further, she pressed the man against the door of the occupied room while Sam ran down to the next to make sure it was clearly currently empty. She locked the door behind the two of them. Sam continued to clean up the spilled food in the hall. Currently empty. I'm going to say dumping, D-U-M-P-I, dumping the giant on the bed, after dumping. I'm going to say after. Dumping the bed. No, then lowercase she. There. After dumping the giant on the bed, she locked the door behind the two of them. Sam continued to clean up the spilled food in the hall. Outside the door, the sound of heavy breathing and angry voices shouted. Fine. Outside the door, the sound of heavy breathing and angry voices shouted through a phone. check the security cameras. He has to be somewhere. What car did he get into? Sarah collapsed on the bed next to the slumbering giant. Them and Billy had been convincing in his escape, and she was safely on his way across town. She looked at her phone, and it was still dead. That would need to be her next priority. There were still noises in the hallway, so she just had to sit tight and remain quiet with the lights off. The man next to her was starting to mumble in his sleep, and one of his arms was moving. His eyes were still shut. She crawled up to his head and tried to look into his face, checking his breathing. His heavy arm landed across her back, knocking her to the bed. She quickly crawled away and decided that listening at the door was safer. She pressed her ear tight, but there were still sounds of heavy feet and something about a smartest bastard. It finally grew quiet, but just as she flopped on the couch, a light knock and housekeeping sounded through the door. Come on. Making her jump out of her skin. She threw herself on the floor, trying to get under the bed, just as the door opened. The squeaky wheels of the laundry cart entered the room, and the door shut. Sarah, are you still in here? Sam, thank God. We don't have much time. There are men still searching room by room. He's not going to fit in that laundry basket. No, he's not. He's going to push the laundry basket. You right inside. The man isn't even awake yet. Try waking him. Sarah climbed. How did I misspell it? Oh, I did misspell. Climb end. Climbed up on the bed and shook him. His arm flapped, and he mumbled. She cocked her arm back and slapped him across the cheek. Still no more than a few incoherent words. Maybe we can get him in there. No, he's just too big. Oh, I'm going to say maybe we can get him in the cart. No, he's just too big. But they don't know that. Maybe we can get him in the cart. Whispered. Sam. Whispered. That's right. No, he's just too big, but they don't know that. She put his overcoat so it showed just a little hanging out the side of the cart and threw in the baseball hat. Start pushing it down the hall, but make it look like it takes you a lot of effort. Take it out and leave it where we get our smoke breaks. There's no surveillance there, and leave everything. What are you going to do? They're going room per room. Leave that to me, but if you can come back here to this room as soon as you're done with a charge cord. Bring Sally and yourself, with both wearing big jackets. Sam looked at her incredulously. Just trust me. Do as quickly as you can. If Sally is not available, ask someone else. My height, my hair color. Tell him I only need 1 hour. I'll pay them or owe them big time. Now go and struggle. Sarah crouched by the door. Put an "and" there. I guess that could work. No. My height, my hair. No, because it's kind of like quick talking. Not available. Ask someone my height, my hair color. Tell them I need an hour. I'll pay them or owe them big time. Now go and struggle. Sarah crouched by the door and listened, but there were no noises beyond the squeaking of his wheels, and then they too faded. Sarah began to undress the man, leaving his boxes. She stripped down to her underwear and bra, then unplugged and placed the lamp next to him in the bed before screwing up the sheets. She paced the room and occasionally listened at the door. Just as she pressed her ear to the door for the 5th time, there was a small knock before it opened. She locked the door behind Sam and Sally. There's a group of them at the end of the hall. Sarah was thankful it was Sally. She knew how to keep a mouth shut, but she always asked. What are you trying to do with him? Sarah put her finger to her lips and stripped off the coat Sam was wearing, adding it to the pile of clothes on the floor. Then she proceeded to stuff them in the bathroom. The two of them. the two of them into the bathroom and shut the door behind. Oh, shut the door before reminding them to be quiet no matter what they heard. What felt like an eternity while heavy boots got... What felt like an eternity while waiting as the heavy boots got closer, knocking on doors. What felt like an eternity while waiting. I don't know. I'm gonna do this. Stuff the two of them into the bathroom and shut the door before reminding them to be quiet, no matter what they heard. What felt like an eternity while the heavy boots, it's that's missing. The heavy boots got closer, knocking on doors. It felt like an eternity. That's missing. It's wrong. It felt like it. There. That's all better. It felt like an eternity while the heavy boots got closer, knocking on doors. Sarah took a deep breath. There would be no halfway to achieve success. Before pulling off her bra and underwear and adding it to the collection on the floor, she climbed on top of the bed, and then him. She wound the electric cord around the lamp, gripping it firmly. At the click of the handle turning, she began writhing on top of him, making small noises. She met the eyes of the invaders and screamed, then threw the lamp so it hit the wall just above their heads as she screamed again at them to get out with some curses, along with some curses. The large men made a hasty retreat and shut the door. She started to curse in the room in a deep voice. She carried on both sides of a conversation, coaxing herself back into the bed, and began to call out again and squeak the mattress rhythmically. She sped. Is it singular? Maybe it is. Sped is the wrong verb form. I did have it correct. She sped up the squeaking and then made a deep, throaty call. Then turned on the TV at full blast to some sports channel. She crept over to the door and listened, but could not hear over the TV. Listened to Wrapping herself in a sheet, she poked her head into the bathroom. Do you think they're gone? Should we chance involving one more person and call Martin to see if they've cleared the floor? Sally offered. No, let's just wait it out. Another 20 minutes should do. Then Sam and I will leave. Here's your charge cord, by the way. Sarah thanked the older woman, shoving them back into the bathroom, then hurriedly plugged in her phone, then once again remounting the sleeping giant. His arm was more active, and he gripped her hips in his sleep. She stayed on top of him, remaining still, waiting, just in case. She needed to produce another show. Her knees were starting to go numb, squatting over him. She shut her eyes and breathed deeply, trying to listen to the noises outside and relieve tension inside of her, and relieve the... She felt the grip on her hips become almost painful, and her eyes flashed open. For just a split second, she thought she saw him staring back at her. But she blinked, and his eyes were still shut. The bathroom door cracked open. Give me a minute. Sarah hurriedly found her clothing and dressed. Okay, I'm decent. No, really you're not. All for a good cause. Can you help me put his clothes back on him? It's a pity to do that. Sally pulled the covers away from him before scooping up his pants. They struggled, but between the three of them, they reassembled him. What were they planning to have? Oh, Sally. I'm going to say Sally snorted. Oh, not capital snorted. S-N-O-R. Snorted. Because it's unclear who's talking. Sally snorted. What were they planning to have a woman do with a man like this? He's limp all over. So dirty. Maybe they picked the wrong medicine? Thank you, too. I owe you, and so does he. Have you heard from Billy? He texted me. He's on a bus coming back. Sarah collapsed on the bed, putting her head in her hands. One of the taut piano strings within her relaxed. She had asked one of her dearest friends to do something far too dangerous. The giant on the bed was beginning to stir again. You two go back to work. My phone should be charged soon. I'll let you know whatever I can. The two of them left reluctantly. The giant was still lightly snoring now. The giant was still and lightly snoring now. Sarah turned off the lights and opened the curtains before curling up on the couch. All she could do now is wait and nap. Doodly-doot, doodly-doot. New chapter. She woke, being levitated above the floor, and there was a pinching around her chest. She was having trouble focusing, and then finally steely blue eyes and an angry red face came into focus. The handsome snoring giant looks. I need to get rid of this. Oh, yeah, no color. No color. Oh. Okay. I can do this. Okay, Tina is going to lose her mind here. No color. Why is it not going away? That's the weirdest thing. Maybe I need to make it a color, like blue. Here. Okay, let's try this. Stop highlighting. Focus this. I'll make it red, and then I'm going to go back in and say no color. Oh, I guess I have to stop highlighting. Select. And then, do I do no color and then? What? It's not going to let me get rid of the purple? That's weird. Is it because... Oh, man. That's good to know. I didn't know the highlighter didn't... It's not... Wait, let's see what's wrong here. It's not showing that kind of formatting. Black. And then... I guess that's the answer. I'm going to just have to retype it. That's good to know. Converted into A-F-R-I-G-H-T-E-N. Frightening. If I misspelled it, I will fix it. What have you done to me? Have you done to me? And who are you? see what happens if I type here. Yeah, see, it keeps that, but that's the weirdest thing. Okay, I'm gonna, if I have really large sections, I'll have to figure that out in the future. She woke being levitated above the floor, and there was a pinching around her chest. She was having trouble focusing, and then finally steely blue eyes and an angry face. Oh, an angry red face came into focus. The handsome snoring giant's looks had converted into a frightening mask. What have you done to me, and who are you? Her throat felt scratchy and her mouth was dry. I let you sleep and saved you from those people. What? No, you're one of them. No, I'm a staff member of the hotel. The bad guys were looking for a woman and said you were your room number. We decided to rescue you. We would like a reward. What? His face went a darker shade of red as he shook her and threw her onto the couch. And he's an on too, because I said it. And get rid of that too. Check your pants. Nothing's happened to you. There are no cameras in the room. The other room had a camera. I threw it all in the tub. I threw it in a tub full of water. She shrugged one of her shoulders when she said nothing. She shrugged one of her shoulders. Ah, that's what's missing. She shrugged one of her shoulders when he said nothing. Oh, plural. Well, I figured I needed to destroy whatever evidence they had on you and me if they were already filming. It may also have been the live feed, who knows. Anyways, you don't have a phone or a smartwatch. They went into the tub too. You searched my pockets, but didn't take this? He found his wallet with cash and cards intact, throwing it in her lap. Of course not, I'm not a thief. But you want me to reward you for kidnapping me. Technically, we rescued you, did not kidnap you. He stomped around the room a bit, then put out his large hand. Give me your phone. She unlocked it and handed it up to him. Where am I? The Regency on Blakewood. Oh, that needs to be capitalized. Room 815. Ah, and I gotta make sure that I've got that in my notes. There we are. Nope, wrong place. I think it was 802. We'll figure it out. Was the room they were in. Anyways. Oh. I need to get rid of this just so I don't accidentally screw up and go to the right place, wrong place. Get rid of this one. Okay. Now I have, all right, just making sure I have the documents that I don't want to have up. Sarah notes. Sarah document working on. Okay. Although I might, 802. I was right. 802 kidnap. I keep track of details because names, places, kind of important later on when you're like, what was that guy's name again? Although I might suggest not having anyone come directly here. 802 is the room we found you in. And they have been searching those rooms. Oh, and they've been searching the rooms. I don't care. Although I might suggest not having anyone come directly here. 802 is the room we found you in, and they've been searching the rooms. We could only manage to get you across the hall. What? Where's my coat and my shoes? They went with Billy, and are now in a dumpster somewhere far away from here. He ran out of the hotel pretending to be you to distract them. Wait, what do you mean? To rescue you from room 802, we had to create a diversion. Sam made a big noise by dumping dishes, and Billy dashed out of the hotel in your coat and shoes, then booked it across the city. Do you think I'm going to believe this? Sarah shrugged her shoulders. You can do all the background checks on me that you want. I have no grudge against you. I figured, though, if they are willing to spend $100,000 on a girl to have sex with you in hopes of pregnancy and $10,000 finder's fee, you must be really important and will give us a nice reward if we rescued you. How am I sure you're not in on this? Well, I'm not sure of your name. The men referred to you as the bastard, so I don't know who I was rescuing, but I figured you were a big shot. You have no idea. The angry giant finally connected to someone on her phone. Gomez, you have to clear the Regency. No, the one on... He bore into her eyes. Blakewood, room 815? Blakewood. It's barred phone. I'll tell you the room number later. Yes. Pull all the security tapes. I need to confirm something. No, I will tell you where I am after you look through the security footage. I want to know who took me to... What room? 802. 802, and what time? He flicked his eyebrows at her. I made it to your room about 10... Before 10. No, I'm secure now. I'll be at this number. Still looming over her. Come on. And flipping her phone in his hand, he reached out to her. And then pulled his hand back and collapsed. Out to her, comma. Then pulled his hand back and collapsed on the edge of the bed, continuing to fiddle with her phone. So you rescued me out of the kindness of your heart? Oh no, I want the money. The money. She felt exasperated at this point. I want the money. Oh, I figure there's a reward for saving you. I see. Don't get me wrong, I am no noble lady, and I am not... She swallowed hard. And I work for money. We saved you last night, and we expect a reward. She shrugged her shoulder again. At least you're direct. Well, comma. At least you're direct. He tried to dial another number. Unlock it. Barnes. I need a new phone. I'm going to change this because I've got Gomez and then what's the other guy's name? Swanson. Swanson, comma. I need a new phone. Mine got wet and a change wet, comma. And a change of clothes. No athletic wear. No, comma. I want athletic wear. No, I want athletic wear. I need to be low-key. He narrowed his eyes at her. You need to do a little background for me. I want you to contact Human Resources. Contact the Human Resources Department at the Regency on Blakewood. Gomez is already pulling the security tapes. She happily gave him their names. The only thing she truly had to fear was that the sun was well up now. Come on. I need to go get water. Which meant she needed to be at school soon, or the system would call her parents and say she was ditching. Sir, may I borrow my phone? It is important. I need to make a phone call. No, it's important. I have to let my next appointment know that I'm not going to be there today, or people will be alerted and concerned for my absence. He narrowed his eyes on her. I can put it on speakerphone. Just tell me the number. Well, I don't know the number. I have to look it up. Then come over here. He made her stand between his knees as he held the phone between them. She searched through her contacts. She knew it would be a voice recording and tried to cough as it announced the name of the school. She saw the flick of his eyes and knew he had heard the name. She pressed a few more buttons and left a message at... No. She pressed a few more buttons and left a message at the correct place. That's fine. That should forestall her parents being involved in her day. You are a high school student? She shrugged her shoulder. And how old are you? 17 last month. 17? Are you trying to tell me I was rescued by a 17-year-old? It's not about age, it's about wit and bravery. Her phone rang and she listened while staring. Oh, and he listened while staring at her. You say Sarah Smith is 32? She smiled at him, showing all her teeth. I'm sending you a photo. He grabbed her around the waist and forced her to be still while he took photos until he was satisfied. This is the girl in my room. I need a full workup. Get the doctor to come too. She struggled in his arms. Don't worry, she's going nowhere. I won't go anywhere. Period. I want to get paid. I have a picture of my school ID in my phone. So you're not 32. Good maintenance routine? She batted her eyes at him. I would never mistake this skin for a 32-year-old. It needs to be spelled out. I'm going to... THIR 32-year-olds. I started working here at 14. That's what their suggestion is? 32-year-olds? I don't think that's right. Why is it like that? Well, that's what they're suggesting. I'm going to go with Grammarly's suggestion. Why not? I started working here at 14. I still cannot serve. Still cannot serve drinks here for another year. So yes, I used a fake ID to gain employment. Is your name Sarah? My first name is. Oh, and it was Sarah. I gotta go check my names. Because she's not Smith later. They made her fake Smith. Where was that? I gotta figure that out. I can't remember. She's got too many aliases. I can't remember them all. Where is it? Did I not put it on this list? Really? Well, Poopaloopa on me. Sarah. 32. Okay. I may have to change that. She smiled at him, showing her teeth. My first name is... Do you still... See, I know I did something with the parents later on. Let me look here. Sure. See, this is why I take notes, because... Wade, no. There was... Really? Where's Sarah's family? There it is, Sarah's family. See, this should be here with Sarah's family. Sarah's that, and it was Wilson. Okay, so I'm not wrong. Sarah Johnson. Okay, so I do have it here. See? Tina. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. Part of the theme of the story is that she keeps having her identification changed, so... Anyways. We are where we are. I would never make this skin for 32-year-olds. Year-olds plus... I started working at 14. I still cannot serve drinks here for another year. So yes, I used a fake ID to gain employment. Is your name Sarah? My first name is. Do you still live at home with your parents? No. That was the truth, though the decision had been reached less than 12 hours before. Are you emancipated? No. And before you ask, comma, I still have a year and a half left of high school. He still held her firmly around the waist, a small, evil smile curving his lips. So you're a junior. Do you need a date for the prom? I don't waste my money on trivial things like that. I work and study. That is all I have time for. So, no one asked you. You are pretty enough. She shrugged in his arms a bit. Oh, she struggled in his arms a bit. I'm trying to get rid of that. She struggled in his arms a bit until he squeezed her tighter. Do you have a boyfriend? Now you're just being creepy. Listen, my friends and I saved you from a horrible fate. I hope you're not the bad guy, and I judged the situation incorrectly. He only loosened his grip around her waist a bit. Her phone rang again. Sam's smiling face appeared on her screen. Your boyfriend? One of your saviors. Let me answer. Speaker. Is he still asleep? The giant nodded his head. Yes. Yes? Are you okay? I should have been off 2 hours ago. I can bring you some food. I'm fine. How's Billy? He's good. He had to go to class. He said he would stay at his aunt's house until you give him on the all clear. That's good. You all need to just go on with your lives as normal. Don't do anything out of line. Can you please let Billy know I'm okay? Sure. She hit the end button. Why did you call into school if you don't live with your parents? I need to keep people from being alerted or concerned about my absenteeism. They would make my life difficult. Sam, is he your boyfriend? No, he's older. Well, at least as old as you. And married. Oh, I need to put this... If I put Billy in here, because this is one of her friends. Sarah, Friends. I don't know if I've done this, but we've got Sam, Sally, Billy, and he's 30-ish, married. married. And that other chick's a lawyer. I remember that. Well, studied to be Letty. Lawyer. S-T-U-D-Y. Oh, Billy's not 30. It's Sam is 30. Yeah. Okay. Billy goes to school. Oh, no, he's older. At least as old as you and married. Billy goes to school with you. Is his ID fake as well? No, he's in college. I've been to classes with him. You've been to class with him. Is he your boyfriend? He's my best friend, and I'm the one that's talked him into this. We really could use the money. I don't want to go back home. I see. And you work here because I need money. Have you been listening? Your parents don't help. Who do you think takes my money? What do you mean? They don't know that I have this full-time job. They think I just get scholarships for school. Which I do, but they have already taken all of that money, and I still need to eat. They don't feed you. Sorry. They don't feed you. She pursed her lips and shook her head no. I don't go home very often. It's better that way. So, you're looking for a high-paying job. Always, but she pointed her finger in his face. I'm not that sort of girl. That's why I work diligently and righteously in a hotel. I've done everything from cutting vegetables to cleaning toilets, but it's honest work. I'm hungry. He still had not released her, but his grip slackened. Would you like me to get us food? He narrowed his eyes at her. You heard Sam. It's just... You heard Sam, He is just getting off. He could bring us something. She could see him working his jaw and his tongue over his teeth. All right, call your friend. I'm very hungry. He pulled at her waist. She tried to remain calm. Anything you can't eat? No. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo. New chapter. However, I am going to put this as I'll load this one up and go get some water, and then I'll start recording some more.